Hey everybody, Z Garcia here, and today we're taking a look at a trick-taking card game. This is Yokai Septet. In this game, which you can play with 3 players or you can play with 4 players in partnership, you are attempting to capture the boss Yokai cards while avoiding taking tricks that don't give you one of those. Because if you win too many times without getting to a certain number of those bosses captured, you are going to hand over the winning of that round to the opposing team. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at it. Being familiar with trick-taking games is definitely a plus here, but I'll do my best to try to explain how the flow of the game works and how a trick-taking generally works. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. I'll see you on the other side. Here I'm going to be showing you the game for 4 players in which you'll play in partnership, but you can also play with 3 players only, okay? So you're going to shuffle up the deck of cards, you'll deal it out 12 cards to each player, and there's one left over that you will reveal, and that is going to become the trump suit, the one that bests all the other suits. The players are competing by playing tricks in order to score these tokens right here. There's 2 ways of scoring. Basic scoring, in which if you win a hand, you get a point, and the first team to 2 points wins. Very simple. And then the advanced scoring, in which you are trying to get 7 of these tokens here, okay? So how's the game work? Well, the first thing is the team members are going to switch cards back and forth. So you're going to pick 3 cards from your hand after you've seen your whole hand. You are going to pass them face down to your partner across the table. You'll sit across from each other, and they'll pass 3 to you, and then you are ready to begin. Whoever has the A card is going to be the start player, though you don't have to lead with this card, all right? So you're going to take a start player card, which is in here somewhere, lead player, there we go. So you're going to take that, and then you begin by playing any card you want to the center. So let's say I play, let's pick something else. I'm going to play this card right here. I lead with that. The next player and everybody after that is going to have to follow suit if they can. So you take a look at your hand, and if you have any of those, then you have to play them and follow suit. The player across the table is going to take a look. Okay, they have to play that. And then this player over here has to play one of these, so they're going to play that one there. Now, who wins? Well, if anybody played the A, which, as you saw, I had over here, it's in the green suit there. If anyone played that, they win. If anyone played trump cards, then the highest trump card played is going to win. And if neither one of those things is true, then the highest card of the first suit played, in this case red, is going to be the winner. So this player here is going to be the winner of this trick right here. You are going to take these cards and stack them up somewhere to count 1 trick, okay? So what are you trying to do? How do you win the game? Well, what you want to do is take the bosses, which are the number 7s across all the suits. But the suits are different from each other, because as you can see on this card here, there is a 7 in every one of them, but its position within that suit will be different. So for example, in the green suit, the 7 is the highest numerical entry there, and then a 6, a 5, a 4, and so on. But as you move down, in this bluish suit down here, 7 is actually the low card, and they go up to 13. So where in that suit it falls will change based on what color it is, all right? Once you take a trick, you are hoping to win at least one of those boss yokai cards. If you do not, you simply take the trick and put it face down in front of you. If you do, you will remove the 7 from it. You will set that on its own and then count the rest of them as a trick you took. And what you are trying to do is get 4 of those boss cards, the 7s, before you win 7 tricks. Because if you get to 4 bosses, let me find one here. There we go. Let's say that this is what happened there. And you will combine what you each took, okay? You and your partner can put these things together. It's not a big deal. If you get to 4 of these bosses, then you win the hand. Every boss left in any player's hand, all the 7s in people's hands, also come to you, and then you're going to score points for those. But if you get to 7 tricks won, before you do that, then your opponents are going to win. They will take all the 7s in people's hands, and they will score points. Only the winning team scores, okay? So the basic idea then is avoid taking dead tricks that don't include at least one boss. So let's say that the game has progressed and this team over here has managed, these two players here have managed to take the four of these 7s, okay? And we won a trick there. We had a bad trick there that didn't give us any 7s. I'm just making this up, okay? And then we managed to take these 4 7s here, and we managed to do it with only 5 tricks were taken. All right? So there we go. This is what it looks like. We took these 5 tricks, and we managed to win 4 7s. At that point, again, you check everyone's hands to see if there are any of these 7s, these bosses, left in people's hands. And let's say this player still had 1, so we get that one also. And then you score. With simple scoring, we get a point. We shuffle up, we do it again. And again, the first team to 2 points wins. With advanced scoring, you check these cards for symbols that tell you how many of these you are going to earn, okay? And each suit is slightly different. So let's take a look at it. So the 7 in green here, this is the strongest card within its suit, so it's nothing. You're not going to get any of those stars, any of those tokens with the green. This one here gives you 1. And there's another one. They're in black and white, these stars, based on whether you're playing with 4 people or 3. So I'm looking at only the 4-player scoring, and it is just the white discs, the white stars here. So this would give us 1. The blue one here gives us 2. This one here gives us another 1. And this one says 2. If you had won whichever one is part of the trump suit, by the way, in this case you couldn't because it's actually face up on the table. But if this was like that, and this is one of the ones we took, the trump one is meaningless. You do not earn the stars for that. So let's say we walked away with all these, we would get 1, 2, 3, 4 of these tokens. Which again is about the same cadence as playing the basic game. You're racing to 7 of these. So as you can tell, we're about halfway there. Just like getting 1 point is halfway to 2 points. And once that's done, then we shuffle up and play another hand. And we continue doing that until one team has 7 of these. And that's usually 2-3 hands. It's really not that long. So there you go. That's how the game works. These cards, I should probably point out, because I'll be talking about it later, do show you on the card, the number of the card, below the range of cards within that suit, in this case 7 to 13, and then down here a little guide as to where within that suit it falls. It's 1 below the top one with a little white dot. So that's a very nice guide to inform you as to how likely this card is to win, how powerful it is within its suit, all of that stuff. So there you go. That's the game. Let's go ahead and go back up top. Let me tell you what I think about it. So that's the game. What do I think of it? Well, I like trick-taking games in general, but I tend to enjoy it when they have something particularly clever that also isn't complex in the game. This one has one mainly clever idea, that idea of, don't take too many tricks without winning or you just straight up lose. So that's neat, but there are some issues I have with this one, largely visual issues, that I think really hold the whole thing back and pull it down for me. So we're going to go ahead and talk about it, okay? I'm going to go through everything I think about it, breaking it down using the target audience system. At the top, theme. Gets a thumbs down because I'm honestly not quite sure what the theme here is. It feels busy and unfocused and unhelpful. It's the kind of theme that you, I think, while playing will largely ignore. You explain to people you want the number 7s. You might never even say that they are the bosses, and it just sort of fades away. It lacks focus. It really seems that way. The aesthetics are my other big negative. There's a terrible font choice that they made for the numbers. The cards look busy. They feel busy. I like the little player aid along the side of it that tells you where within that suit the card you're holding is. But The numbers are just, they're meant to look, the font is meant to look like brush strokes, and it's just very hard to discern what they are when you're playing around a table. And you throw a card in the center, it's like, is that a 7? What is that? Or is that the 4 and the A almost look identical in the green suit? So I don't like the way the game looks. I don't think it's visually that appealing. And everything, again, the artwork is sort of a throw everything at the wall and see sort of what piece of artwork jumps out at you. That's kind of how it looks. Card quality is okay. Tokens are okay. But generally, I don't really like the way the game looks. The replay value is somewhere down the middle of the road here. It's only for 3 or 4 players, so there is that. And I think if you really get into this trick-taking game, you might like it. If you don't have access to a lot of trick-taking games, this might be a good one for you. But if you are already a fan of trick-taking games, I don't think the replay value here is going to be anything extraordinary. The game arc, I think, is good. The game's short, and in fact, one of the things that is kind of a detriment for me is that the game is too short. You are playing, generally when you play this game, you will play 2 or 3 hands. That's it. And while I like short trick-taking games, that's too short. That doesn't give you enough time for the players to get comfortable with what they should be passing to each other, for you to have reversals of fortune and things like that. It's a little too tight. But the hands themselves play out with interest. There's a lot of neat things that can happen as you see yourself winning tricks that you shouldn't win. And then maybe take one of those bosses, a 7, and feel like, okay, I'm on the right path again here. I like that. There is interest to that hand while it's being played, to each hand. The ease of play. It's smooth, it's easy to grasp, it's easy to get going, especially for gamers that are familiar with trick-taking already. If you're not, there are a couple of things here that are going to be a little weird, like the suits not having the same numbers, which is really not meaningful. The boss, you could have kept all the numbers the same and just have the boss be, the 13 in this suit, the 12 in this one, the 11 in this one. But I get that you want that sort of visual trigger of 7s are good, So it's fine. It just might take a little getting used to if you're not familiar with this type of card game. Lastly, tactics, luck, strategy, also good. There's some interesting ideas in here, The passing of the cards, the losing when you were trying to win, the knowing when you play low and just let the trick go. The knowing what you give to your opponent and trying to remember that and trying to read into what they gave you. These are things that are going to develop with more plays, which is kind of why I wish the game was slightly longer, so you could do that more each time you play. But there are interesting things. Is there luck? Yes, it's a card game. You will be dealt what you'll be dealt, and you will trade some with your partner, but that's it. But generally, I think there are clever things going on here, and those things are comparable with other trick-taking card games. I'll tell you, overall, I think if this game had a cleaner, more neat, more sort of easier to understand kind of theme, and if it looked better, or was easier to read, I should say, then I think this would be a neat one. This would be one that I might put into rotation for a bit. As it is right now, it's a bit too esoteric, the look. It doesn't look as appealing as I would like it to, and it doesn't necessarily do anything particularly different or evocative in trick-taking that will supplant anything else I like now in that genre, okay? So I don't dislike it, but it isn't a great game, I would say. It's going to get a 6 out of 10 from me. So there you go. If you're someone who is a connoisseur of trick-taking games and you collect them, this is a neat one. Nothing wrong with it. Works well. It's a quick one. Too quick. And you'll discover things as you play. If you're not someone who is a collector or connoisseur of trick-taking card games, there's too many good ones out there that look clean, are approachable, are interesting, quicker, that I think you should go for first, all right? So there you go. That is Yokai Septet. 6 out of 10 from me. My name is Z Garcia. I'll see you on the next one.